Welcome to the Noctuary. My name is Dev, he, they, GM, host.
Hello, my name is Patrick, he, him, and I'll be playing Vivianato, he, him, lighthouse keeper and unprofessional medium.
Hi there, I'm Nicole, and I will be playing Dr. Eurydice Spencer, the scientist.
Hi, I am Alex, they, them. I will be playing Paige Carrick, grad student to Dr. Spencer.
Hello, I'm Zuki, he, him. I'm playing Sonny Brightheart. He is the mayor of Stella Maris, owner of the Blind Barracuda Club, a bit of a gangster, and hunted by something terrible.
All right, let's begin. Hello, dear listeners. The Noctuary opens. The first words on the page is this. This is our story, written in blood. A story of ties, tithes, and tides. Are perennius. Our camera flies over the Bay of Thaddeus. Swale Springs and Stella Maris, sprawling towns. A beautiful emerald island with dark secrets. This story starts September 1st, 1931. Vivian Otto. It's late. We'll say about midnight. The moon is high above you. What would your character be doing at this hour?
He would be in the library of his lighthouse, reading through a volume of quaint and forgotten lore.
Vivian, when your character is done doing that, like taking a break, where do they go?
Is it a clear night?
Yeah, there's a bit of overcast, but it's relatively clear. The moon's out. Obviously the lighthouse never really turns off.
Then in that case, he's most likely going to go upstairs and he's going to check on the lamp.
Still burning after all these years.
Okay. He's going to sort of cast an eye around his elevated view of the beach that he gets from up here.
Okay. Roll me your disadvantage. Haunted.
My disadvantage haunted. That's right. 16.
16. You are fine for now. But as you are you leaning over the side of the lighthouse?
Yes, I'm leaning over the railing.
As you are leaning over the railing, you see kind of down at the beach, you see figures walking towards the now infamous Bandits Cove, where over a year ago, an expedition that had taken place went poorly.
Vivian's going to go over to the other side of the lamp where he keeps like his book of various ships and whatnot that he sees going by, along with like people sometimes tell him if people have like permission to walk by his lighthouse, that sort of stuff, since it is technically government property, and he's gonna flip through and see if anyone has authorization to go into Bandit Cove tonight.
Yeah, you look through your logbook, and the last time, weirdly enough, the last time anyone has been allowed near your land was a year ago with this expedition. No one has been allowed since then really to go near your property.
All right, then he's gonna sort of mutter to himself, Jesus. And he's gonna go downstairs and grab like an old rifle of his that he has leaning against the wall and go out and try to confront these people.
Okay, we'll get back to you. Whose turn is it now? Eurydice. It's your turn.
Okay.
It's late. When you wake up from a dream that you do not remember, you feel sick. What do you do?
Eurydice sits up in bed and then kind of sags to one elbow, resting her forehead against her hand. She swallows convulsively, then turns and gets up from her bed, fetches the pitcher of water from the nightstand, pours herself a glass, and glances out the window at the slumbering town.
I think even as you start to like take a sip, you can feel your stomach contract and you are about to vomit in this moment.
I go for the wash basin and lean over it, panting slightly, kind of resting my forehead against the cool ceramic.
You're able to get there very quickly, and you vomited before. This is not your first experience with this, but something about it feels wrong.
I think that she curls her arms around her midsection, leans back against the wall, and kind of slides to a squatting position on the floor, head back against the wall as she tries to control her stomach.
You feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Do you turn the light on? Is it still dark in here? Did you turn the light on when you came in? Or what? Do you think it was just like,
I think that there is perhaps a oil lantern that the flame is very, very, very low. It's hanging from a hook in the ceiling. It's one of those water-filled globes so that if it gets knocked over, the flame goes out. So I think there's a very dim, flickering lantern light in the washroom.
you hear something splashing around in the water basin? It says you're laying on the floor, or not laying, you're sitting on the floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to calm your stomach. In between the sounds of your own heavy breathing, you can hear splashing.
Eurydice looks around the room, startled. She starts to stand up to try and figure out what's making this noise.
And that's when you see bigger splash and some water comes out of the basin. And you look into the basin and you notice there's just this thick, dark ichor that kind of fills the bottom of the bowl.
Eurydice stares at it and for a moment is just, her mind isn't processing. She's looking at this and part of her mind is screaming, part of her mind is cataloging, oh, so that's here. I have to deal with this now. And I think she doesn't want to touch it, but also doesn't want it inside her rooms. And so I think she ends up kind of trying to examine it from where she is. Where could this have come from?
As you try to examine it, you've seen a salamander before.
Mm-hmm.
This salamander is slender. It's about the size of from your pinky finger to your thumb.
So like 6-7 inches long.
Yeah. You notice that on the top of its head, it's got a little bump. And as you examine the bump, it almost reminds you of a doll's head. You can see just the makings of eyes and a little mouth and a couple of nubs for fingers coming out from the top of where, if this head had a neck, it would be like rising up above them.
Eurydice stares at it, and the camera can see her retching slightly as she looks at this creature. Since Since the expedition went so poorly, she hasn't been able to appreciate animals like this much anymore. And she steels herself visibly and reaches out to pick up the basin and is going to try to take it and throw the contents out the window.
As you grab the sides of the basin, this thing strikes, and you wake up again from a dream that you do not remember. We go to Paige. Paige Carrick.
Hello.
Hello. You are also dreaming, but it also feels like a memory because you are running. There is a storm outside. You went too far out this time. You and your friend whose face in this dream memory is blurry, but you do remember them. Lights flash above you, lightning. The sound that comes after it, it's a bit higher pitch than normal, but you keep running because you're trying to find cover because the rain is coming. What does Paige do?
I think Paige. So whereabouts are they running outside?
So Swale Springs is like right next to like the jungle area,
Yeah.
and I'm imagining maybe your house is like you have like a yard, but there is a gap where children can slip out and they can play in the forest surrounding it. Then this time you went too far out.
So I'm a child right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Like maybe 7, 8.
Okay. So that would be Stella Maris then.
Oh, yes. Forgive me. Yes, I apologize.
It's all good. Yeah, I think they're trying to run. They probably, if they recognize that they're too far out, they're probably going to turn and try to run back.
You start trying to run back. It's weird because everything looks reversed. Like things are not where they're supposed to be. The path is different than you remember it. You feel like you're going deeper instead of going further away from it. And the lights are flashing above you, but it's not a solid color. It's multicolored. And the sound, it's higher pitched. It's louder.
Okay. If they think that they're going deeper, they might switch tactics. Rather than trying to find their way out, they might try to find something to hide under for cover. So maybe like a tree or a boulder or...
Yeah. Your friend at this point is long gone. And I don't think you've ever heard any news about whether or not they were found. Which on the Bay of Thaddeus is not really surprising. But you hide behind this boulder. You see figures, shadows that are people, maybe, but some of them look too long, and their eyes glow a bit too bright. You feel someone grab your arm, except their touch is too hot, and it's too dark. You feel like you're blind until suddenly light hits you. And when you wake up, you feel a burning sensation on your arm. Kind of goes up towards the middle of your back.
Okay, they will look at their arm, try and feel it, see if it feels hot to the touch.
As you touch your arm, you feel a little bit of skin kind of rub away. And you see just a little bit of a mark, a black mark. but just a little bit. And that is where I will leave you. Suki.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, Sunny. I apologize, Sunny.
Yeah.
You get a knock at the door. It's late. It's midnight.
Is this a knock at the door of my house? Or
Yes, sorry, I apologize. Yes, knock at the door at your house.
okay. I'll so since I know that my life is in danger, I've actually got one of my boys here who's kind of on guard. So I'm going to tell him, I'll get the door. You just keep a gun handy, okay?
What's this person's name? Are they a bodyguard?
Yeah, he's one of my crew. So
Okay,
Ollie,
yeah.
yeah.
Ollie. Yeah, good old Ollie. He never sleeps. You don't even think you've seen him blink.
So I'll go up to the door and I'll check the peephole.
What is the name of the sheriff?
Sheriff,
Yeah.
I'm going to say Tobias Welsh.
Tobias Welsh. Yeah, you see a older gentleman, older than you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of long grayish hair. Got like a beard, a goatee thing going on. He's got a couple of gray eyes. You see one of his deputies. We'll see Carol Shipper with him. And you see him kind of go to knock on the door again.
Hide the heat, Ollie. It's Welsh. And I'll open the door. Sheriff! Oh,
Ollie has to quickly like shove the thing in because you don't give him enough time to hide it. But yeah, he hides it and it just goes behind the door.
Mm-hmm. Sheriff! Toby, how's it going?
Yes. Well, Sonny, I apologize if I woke you up. I know it's late out.
Yeah, I've been staying up late recently. Don't you worry. Come on in.
I'm afraid we can't stay long, but we got a bit of a situation that I'm going to need you to come with me for.
Uh-huh. You can't talk about it here?
It's better if I just show you, sir. It's a mess.
Sure.
It's something that would requires your a bit of your expertise in, I suppose.
Huh. What, they run out of drink? No, sure. Let me, Ollie, go and bring the car round.
Does Ollie speak? I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like Ollie doesn't really speak much.
I think, yeah, maybe he's a bit quiet. He doesn't want to talk in front of the sheriff. It's fine.
Yeah, he just kind of nods.
So I'll go back
He goes get the car.
and tell my current partner, Cherry, that I'm heading out. She doesn't need to worry about a thing. I'll be good, darling. And,
She's passed out.
oh man, too much of the giggle juice.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll get into the car and get. It is like one of those cars that you can sit in the back and you've got like a chauffeur in the front, like a town car.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I guess the sheriff's got his own car.
He's got a horse, actually.
Wow. Well, it's what you have to do on this island in some places, but yeah.
Yeah, which is weird because he doesn't usually bring his horse out unless he's been like out in the jungle area where it's kind of more needed. But yeah, you follow alongside him, and you and Ollie, you're able to, you've both lived here most of your lives. I'm assuming, I don't know if Ollie's from.
Oh yeah, most of my boys are from the island. A few are from when I was in America, but yeah.
You guys are able to navigate this forest even without the horse's help. It's when you reach, this area well. This is, I can't remember what it's called outside a game, but it's this pool of water that connects to the river that runs through Swale Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see, you ready to see how many people went on?
I think the original expedition was Eurydice, two of her grad students, cave diver expert along with Eurydice, and maybe a hydrologist. So I'm going to say 5 people total, including Eurydice.
You see 3 body bags. Oh, it'd be 2 people.
Okay.
You see 2 body bags.
Uh-huh. Did you find them like this? Like all trussed up? I'll kind of wander over and inspect them. Is it... And there's bodies in here, Sheriff, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
You bagged them up?
Well, yeah, I had. Well, yeah.
Uh-huh. Sonny's a little bit suspicious about this, because if these bodies have been found... yeah, okay, Sheriff.
Listen, I get a call the middle of the night from some woman saying that there's a couple bodies out here. I go out, I find these 2. Boss, it's part of the expedition that went missing last year.
Expedition? I think I know. I heard about that. Right, okay.
Yeah,
So
where
these are them?
The Doc Spencer from the college.
I'm going to lean down and open one of the body bags. Where'd you find them as I'm doing that?
They were just not sat, but laid down out here, just right by the water's edge.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you see the hydraulics expert and the cave diving expert. Or do you open one of them or both of them?
I'll just open the nearest one, whichever one you want.
Okay, so you see the hydraulics expert. Eurydice, give me a name.
I wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah, this is true. Let's go with Eric Rostle. Rostle.
Yeah. Actually, did I have anything to do with this expedition anyway? Did I authorize it? Since I guess not, because I'm only the mayor of this town. But yeah, so I wouldn't know these people, right?
I imagine there was some to do after 5 people went into the sea caves and only 1 person came out.
So the pictures will have been distributed. Okay, yeah. And does he look like he's been underwater for a long time? How long does it look like he's been dead?
This corpse has been bloated. It's been bloated for a long time. That the skin is still soft, and if you put any amount of force to it, your finger will just go right through.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I kind of pull back a bit. I pull out a flask and take a slug from it. Yeah, that's pretty messed up, Sheriff. I say we cordon this area off and look for any physical evidence in the morning. It's too late right now to see much out here. But yeah, I want to have a word with that doc. Maybe we should get her in the morning.
You're sure? All right.
Did we find anything else? Was it just the bodies?
Just the bodies and oh, sir, it's freaking me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, maybe there was something down them caves that they didn't want them to see. That kind of thing happens sometimes. There's all sorts of criminal elements, you should know, officer, that operate out of some of the caves in this island. They might have stumbled across something they shouldn't have seen. And now they've washed up.
That'll sure look good on a report, sir.
Let's not jump to conclusions, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have a chat with Dr. Spencer, was it?
Yeah. Eurydice Spencer.
Uh-huh. Ollie, actually, I'll get my secretary to call her in the morning and get these down to the morgue, and maybe we'll meet her there. Have a little chat.
Okay.
Anyway, I better get back to bed. But thank you very much, Sheriff. I'm not sure I needed to be here, but sure, it's freaky, but these things happen. And I'll shake him by the hand.
Yeah. It's just a fucked up kind of weird thing. I don't know how your character would think about it, but it's more so just he knows what you do, and I'm assuming he's kind of under your payroll, unless that's not the truth.
I think maybe, yeah, he knows that I'm maybe a bit dodgy, but he doesn't care enough to investigate it because I don't cause any trouble.
Because you are the mayor of the mayor of Telemaris, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think he doesn't. Well, he doesn't work for me. Obviously, it's a separate elected position, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah.
But we have an understanding. Yeah. Probably a cash-based understanding, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. But I think just before you kind of turn around and go back to your car, I think you do see maybe just a flash of something. A pair of eyes, some long hair. But when you turn back, it kind of just fades away from your, kind of just, maybe just some trees.
Was it out in the water or was it in the jungle around us?
It's kind of like in the jungle around you. But
Okay.
it happened so fast.
I'm going to kind of walk speedily to the back of the car, take out a shotgun, then tell Ollie to drive me back while I'm holding the shotgun in the back.
Yeah, Ollie just looks at the gun, kind of raises an eyebrow, but he doesn't say anything, and he just kind of just drives along.
Now, I will say it's to do with that thing we talked about. Because I've told my boys about what I think's happening. They might think I'm nuts, but I think I'm being hunted by something.
Hey, you pay them enough money not to think you're nuts. If you say the sky is purple, they'll believe it.
By the way, I don't know if you want to do this later, but I have a start of session roll I need to make because of which we can do because these are kind of introduction scenes, right? Yeah, so we can do it later. But yeah, and I don't want to take up more screen time.
Yeah, no problem. Let me get back to Patrick, and then we'll do rolls and everything.
All right.
Patrick.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Vivian.
That's right.
We return to you. You went down to the beach, right?
That's right.
Right. You go down to the beach and you follow these figures.
Yes.
You notice in the sand as you're following them, you're surprised. These are like 4 or 5 people that you've seen, but there's no footprints in the sand, except maybe your own.
Upon noticing that, Vivian is going to kind of like draw back a little bit.
Yeah.
He's going to sort of mutter to himself, no, not tonight. Please, not tonight. And then he's going to like try to still like keep fairly close to them, but far enough away to where he thinks he can run away if they spot him and try to observe them.
You walk, keeping a distance, but still keeping them in eye view. You notice now that you notice that there's no footprints in the sand, these figures, the shadows they cast are a bit too long. In fact, they seem a bit too long. But at the same time, it's almost like looking at them through a distorted mirror. They seem far away, then near, then far away, tall, then short. Each of them enter into the cove except for the last one, who turns around, and you can see it has eyes that gleam a bit too bright.
Does it have any other identifiable physical characteristics, or is it just those eyes?
Just those eyes. It turns around and it goes into the cove.
Vivian just sort of shakes his head and decides not to follow them and just retreats back to his lighthouse and unscrews a flask of some alcoholic beverage he's managed to stow away for himself.
You do that. You drink however long you want to drink for.
Just like a quick little sip, and then he reaches for his noctuary that he keeps in his desk to record the
Hmm.
incident.
I will keep that in mind. Please write that down somewhere.
All right, he will do just that.
Now that we've kind of gotten our introductions out of the way, Sonny, you wanted to talk to Dr. Spencer.
I
So, Dr.
do.
Spencer and Brightheart, do you want to do a scene together?
I think, yeah, we should. Do you want me to roll my condemned first?
Yes, why don't you do that, please?
Okay.
And describe
Hmm.
kind of what that looks like for the rest of the audience.
Well, I mean, the fact is that I have been promised or been condemned as a sacrifice to something or other. I don't quite know what it is, I just know that it's happened. And this is just, the role is mainly to say that, like, how, in this session, how does that affect me? How do things go? I think we talked about the fact that the condemn thing normally only happens at the start of a session, but we can also do it if you feel like things are advancing in my doom, per se, as well.
Right.
Like something happens that could cause that. So I get to roll +0, so just 2d10.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And I roll an 8. That's not a good result. That is
No,
definitely not
it's
a good
not.
result.
It is an interesting result.
My end approaches. The GM holds 2 options from the above list, or marks 2 time on my countdown to my ultimate fate. You get to hold 2 options. You can spend them whenever you want, including overnight, last night, I guess.
Okay, no, I've actually got a couple of one's already kind of happening.
Okay. Did you want me to mark 1 time then? You use the other one, or
I've already got two already in my mind.
okay.
You are haunted by the entity or event that sealed your fate,
Mm-hmm.
and your partner Sherry kind of just leaves, has a little thing packed, and has left you.
Mm. She doesn't want to be. Yeah. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Does she leave a note?
No, and I'm gonna say that she's just gone.
Mm.
If you try and look for her, she has disappeared.
We'll see. I might be looking for her, or I
Maybe.
will at some point potentially. But at the moment, I'm just okay. She's gone. Sometimes she goes. I've not missed her yet, but yeah, I'll note that down.
So I was going to say I also have it's not quite a start of mystery, or as it were, or start of session, but
Uh-huh.
with experiment gone wrong. In the first session, and whenever things seem in control, roll +0 to see what is going on with the whatever I unleashed when I did my experiment. The expedition into the sea caves that went horribly. I can roll for it, or we can consider the fact that the bodies of my missing friends are showing up on the
It's
beaches
up to you if you want to roll. If you want to roll, you don't know about. Well, you're going to learn about them
very soon.
very soon. So
Yep.
if you want,
So let's keep it where it is. My
yeah, let's.
experiment is close on my heels. We'll just do a moderate success,
Yeah,
essentially, because that's the fiction that we're creating.
yeah.
Cool.
All right. Where does this scene take place?
How about we set it at the Bright Heart Medical Center in Swell Springs? Seems like they'd have a morgue, probably the only morgue on the island.
I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm. So this is the one owned by Sonny's family, the Bright
Yes.
Hearts. I'm not on
Do you
very
talk
good
to your
terms.
family? Oh, I was about to ask.
I'm not on. Well, the reason I'm not on very good terms with Raymond, the head of the family, is because he is a member of the cult, which I have been cursed by, which I have been dabbling in the affairs of. So, yeah.
For sure.
So he doesn't really talk to me. But then again, it's run by a trust. It's not. he isn't going to be there. And we kind of, yeah. He's just not talked to me since because he's just written me off as dead, effectively.
Interesting. Okay. You walk into. It's very cold down here. Very sterile. Who is. Oh, shoot. I was about to say the morguist, but that's not a thing. It's the
Mortician.
Nope.
coroner.
Keep trying.
Coroner.
Coroner or medical examiner. Either one.
Medical
Mortician
examiner.
is a funeral
Yep.
puck.
What is the name of the coroner? Coroner? Medical examiner. I'm gonna say medical examiner from now on.
Heck yeah.
You want me to say?
Whoever wants to.
I say William Dalgleish. Should we say that?
William, what was that?
Dalgleish.
Doubt.
Yeah, sorry, it's a Scottish name.
Oh gosh. Okay. Fair
Doesn't
enough.
matter.
Dalgleish. I think I'm saying that right. Hopefully.
Yeah, you totally are.
Okay.
Who's it? So are we both in this scene right now? Are we both, or is it just?
That's what I'm assuming, unless.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we're both walking in. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, the Emmy pulls out the bodies on those body trays. They are covered right now. You cannot see their faces.
Probably smell them though. Jeez.
Oh, you can absolutely smell them. Smells like dank underground water.
Yeah, sorry to bring you in about this, Doctor, but we believe we've come across the remains of your expedition. We just need you to identify them, and then we can maybe have a bit more of a chat.
Identify how? It was over a year ago. How is there anything left?
Well, I don't know how that works. Maybe the coroner can fill you in. But Will, have you had a chance to look at them?
Well, oh God, I was about to do a Scottish accent, but I'm not. I'm not going to do that. From what I can tell, seems to be a combination of drowning, blunt force trauma. When I did the autopsy, I noticed that several organs were removed. It's a whole list of things that could have caused their deaths. Quite frankly, I would assume the drowning would be the first thing that happened.
And then somebody removed some of their organs after they were dead?
Apparently.
Okay.
A lot of the trauma is post-mortem.
Well, they're going to have been swirling around in those waters, in those caves, for some time, but how can they still... Well, yeah, like the doc says. Why do they still look good?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but they should have been entirely consumed by now. I couldn't hope to identify. I don't know.
Well, let's take a look, Doc. Do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, they're not gonna be pretty.
I should think not.
Are they in an unusually good condition for bodies that have been underwater for a year? I'd say that's got to be the case.
I would say,
I saw
yeah,
the face.
You definitely saw the faces. I would say, yeah. Since I have established that you can see the faces, but they still are in bad shape. There are no eyeballs. I would say some of their face looks like it's been like eaten into, almost, exposing teeth. You know that one of either the cave diver or the hydraulics expert, I want to say the cave diver, had like a gold tooth.
Yeah.
And you see, like, yeah, there's that gold tooth.
We will have to get in touch with their families.
Are they on island?
I don't know, Dr. Spencer, are they on the island?
I think that the diver is someone that Eurydice knows from another institution, so it is not from the island. but the hydrology, I mean, people want to know what is happening with rivers everywhere that there are people. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the hydrologist is from the island itself.
Can we call just so in character? What was the name of the expedition? Do we want to give it a name, or people refer to it now?
I honestly, if anything, it would have been Spencer's expedition or the Spencer Sea Caves expedition or something like
The
that.
Spencer incident.
How about if we call it the Blackwater tragedy or something like that? So it's
Sure, I'm cool with that.
because in the papers it might have come out as like that. Yeah. So is this all the people you went with into the Blackwater tragedy? Is that right?
Eurydice looks at Sunny, makes eye contact with him, says, I think you're aware that there were 2 graduate students with us as well, Mayor.
You would know the names of the graduate students.
Yeah. What is the name of all the people? Yeah, just so I can know.
So, I have named the graduates. I don't have the names of the other two.
All right.
So
The diver. So Eric Rostel is the hydrologist. And the diver is. Let's go with Jacques.
Cocteau.
Jacques
No,
Cousteau.
no, we're not doing that. I do want the nod to the fact that the French were really big in diving and in sea exploration at this time, but I did not want to fall to Cousteau.
Jacques Dupont. Jacques Dupont.
Works for me.
So the 2 graduates were Orpheus Bishop,
Oof.
she, her,
Man.
Alex Lustrom.
Oh, come on.
I'm
dead already?
Alex.
God damn it.
And just to be clear, there's 3 bodies here.
2.
There are 2.
Okay, 2. All right.
So you said it was Orpheus Whomst?
Bishop.
Orpheus Bishop with a E.
Ooh, with an E, very special.
What, you mean the church bishops?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm fucked. I lost a bishop.
Yeah.
Just be glad you didn't lose your queen.
No, that's a pretty good one.
I mean, you understand you're going to be involved in this investigation. These people disappeared under your care, so to speak. Be good to find the others, but yeah, at least we've got an answer there. I want to see the full report, Dalglish.
Have you spoken to the university about this?
Should we?
Well, as I am a tenured professor there, and the expedition happened under the auspices of the university itself, I think before you try to second me into whatever this is, we should probably bring it up to my dean.
Well, you understand this is a criminal investigation, ma'am. These people died under suspicious circumstances, so I'm not sure the dean has any say in it.
Tell that to the dean.
Were there charges against me brought forth that I am unaware of?
I want to say that there were.
Oh, hot damn.
For negligence, I would say.
Was that legal, or was it just within the university?
That was, I mean, the families were obviously very upset that, their children went missing.
Well, of course,
I would say if you're acquitted because...
Then that, Mayor Brightheart, would be double jeopardy.
Yeah.
All right, Vivian, go back to sleep.
There never was any formal trial, just a coroner's investigation. Now we have more evidence. But
I would say that if Dr. Spencer went to church, you definitely were not very... The environment became very hostile for you.
look, Dr. Spencer, or Eurydice, may I call you Eurydice?
Is that an intimacy we wish to have?
In that case,
Mayor?
it's Dr. Spencer. Look, I'm not trying to bust your balls here. I'm just trying to say we have to do this investigation. I'm sure it was a treasure. You must be very upset by it. But, when bodies turn up, the sheriff gets a little upset.
I also am quite upset. This, she points to the body of Jacques Dupont. This was a very close friend, one of the people who helped me use the new regulators that had did so much for our work here. This is a dear colleague.
No, I understand.
And that's my cousin. The hydrolysis is my cousin.
Oh no. I'm sorry, Mayor Brightheart. It's been the anniversary was only recently. This is a
Okay.
tender subject.
No, I understand. No, listen to me. I don't want any of this to reflect badly on you. But people are going to talk, and I want to be your friend here, Dr. Spencer. I think we have a mutual interest in making sure this doesn't go too far, and that this was a terrible accident, and all those weird rumors going on about what happened. We just want to put those to rest. But that's not. It's. We need to get the full coroner's report. I'll send it to you, and we just need to, between ourselves, come up with the appropriate explanation to put out. How does that sound?
That sounds like we can do business.
I'm going to roll a forked tongue with your character.
Fabulous.
I'm trying to manipulate you into obviously helping, because I mean, out of character, my character knows that you have something, maybe some knowledge of the occult, and having somebody like you on my side with this horrible thing that's happened to me might be useful. And the university's got all sorts of books I want to get hold of, so yeah, let's see how badly this backfires.
Only session 1, and there's already forking.
I know.
Oh, come on.
I've been forked.
Yeah, that's it. What I'm going to say is that my forked tongue ability, it is a supernatural ability. So this is one of the things that I learned as a kind of spell. So it is an occult thing that I'm doing here.
Does your tongue actually fork? Like,
Yeah.
do you
No.
turn into a snake?
Yeah, I just turn into a snake immediately in front of everybody and
Fabulous.
trust in me.
Is there something that you have to do to make the effect go off? What does it look like?
I need to
when
roll
you're doing...
charisma. So this could backfire horribly. Let's find out.
You need to activate your Riz, as it were.
Okay, my Riz is
Ooh,
Holy shit.
fully
strong.
activated. So I choose one option. You trust me. +1 relation with me.
All right, let me put that on my sheet.
Okay. Yeah, I think we'll say, yeah, I mean, that obviously that effect goes off, and
Yeah, so noted.
so what I understand is you are trying, so don't forget to mark that down, Spencer.
Oh, already done.
Okay, so you are so as the mayor, from what I am gathering from this conversation, is you are trying to cover up. Are you trying to cover up the fact that? What are you trying to do?
What I'm trying to do is, one, find out what's really going on by looking at the coroner, but also make sure this doesn't cause horrible repercussions for me and doesn't start this all the rumors and weirdness that happened when this happened a year ago doesn't get out of hand. We had a lot of trouble from that, so we don't want that a repeat of that.
You don't want the publicity coming back on you and Stella Maris.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You want a logical explanation for what's going on.
And if there isn't one, to hush it up. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, gotcha. You want to cover. Okay, anything weird, you want to cover it up. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't remember what happened down there, is that right, Doctor?
No, I've spent a long time trying to force my mind to give up the story of what happened in those caves, but I remember going in. I have flashes of us talking inside the caves, camps, maps, just flashes, and then just nothing until they found me on the beach, covered in bruises. That's all I know.
That's fine. William, could you take us through exactly what you found on these bodies? So I'm not going to roleplay through all of this, but what I want to do is look for signs of something occult that's happened to the bodies. Like, can I make any
Okay.
correlation
Mm.
with my knowledge?
This what role would this? Let me look up.
It sounds like we're investigating something.
Yep, it does sound like it.
For sure.
To be honest, I prefer that Dr. Spencer does this because my reason is terrible. But I want her to be there to hear this and maybe to...
I think there is a way to help people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you help or hinder a player character's move, explain how before their roll, and roll plus attribute where the attribute is the same as the other player's rolling.
Okay. And what's the effect?
On a 15 plus, you may modify the sequential roll by +2, -2. That's helping +2, hindering -2. You may modify the subsequent roll by +1, -1 on a 14 to 10. Your interference has unintended consequences. The GM makes a move.
I'm actually going to invite Dr. Spencer. Yeah, could you give your opinion on this and what seems to be involved? Now, the question is, are you going to reveal if you do find something occult? Meaning,
I don't
do
know.
we both have to roll?
Let's find out.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to roll as well, just in case you don't. So, but or the other thing is we can help each other, but we should probably choose that now.
I'm not sure. I think that for like above the table, like completely above the table, depending on what Eurydice finds out, she may or may not be super happy to talk about, like, oh wow, look, there's a giant tentacle mark around this person. Do I really want to say that in front of people who might think I'm insane? But this is true.
That's true.
This is
You
true,
do
and I
trust
am taking that into account.
Yeah. Okay.
If they're clutching a piece of paper that says, Eurydice, why did you eat my face? I don't know that I'd say anything about that.
In that case, let's keep it simple. We'll both roll. And
Sounds
then
good.
You can decide.
See what happens.
Yep.
So both of you are rolling investigate?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure the audience understands what's going on.
Absolutely. So I will be rolling this with my scientist advantage, which says, whenever you investigate an object or entity using the proper equipment, you may choose from these following questions, in addition to those acquired through investigation. That gives me what properties or how do I make use of this. So I'm going to roll and let you know what I see.
That was my move, failing with a 7.
Okay.
But I get some information, but I pay a price for it.
Come on.
Unexpected source of danger.
That's fun.
There we go. 16. So, is there anything weird about what I am investigating?
Well, that's a good question. How are you investigating it?
Well, I'm here in the coroner's office, and I have access to various scientific tools and such. And I think Eurydice is putting into play the fact that in the 1930s, the general education was much broader than a modern doctorate scholar. So I think she's utilizing, anatomy, basic scientific principles.
Okay.
And also, I guess we've got the advantage of the coroner himself is telling us exactly what's happened to these people, or at least what he's seen.
So you're asking...
So I get 2 questions. So my first question is there anything weird about what I'm investigating?
Okay. That's very broad, but...
It's the suggested one. I can come up with something more specific if you like.
No, it's fine.
I think it's up to the GM, because then you can give whatever you It feels appropriate, right?
I think you notice that you said it before. Where are like they should have been eaten,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you find these almost crescent-shaped bruises, like deep, dark bruises on the body, on the flesh of what looks like something trying to bite, but not really getting anywhere with it.
Okay.
And you also notice under some of the fingernails on, we'll say, the cave diver's body, you notice that there is like this flake of like almost reptile skin and dark ichor like substance that for some reason looks it's there's something familiar about it, but not, but almost like deja vu.
Have you seen these? It
Mm.
it almost looks like perhaps bite marks or some sort of animal.
I mean, Dalglish, the skin's very soft and easy to cut, right? At least it seemed to look like that. Is that the case? Maybe it wasn't at some point before it was in the water. Yeah.
Do those bruises look like they are healed or healing, or do they look like lividity from blood pooling postmortem?
I'm sorry, what's up?
The bite marks, the bruising, does it look like that they happened and they started to heal, or, were on a living body as opposed to the pooling of the blood, which causes postmortem lividity, which is, when you die, and if you die lying down, all of the blood drops to like your back and legs.
No, this is not lividity. The
Okay.
there is, this is not lividity. This is like bruising.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Does it?
It's like not blood is pooling, but it's
Mm-hmm.
bruises.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to ask my second question, and then I will do my scientist question after that. My second question is, what is my gut feel about this? Does it look like this potential animal attack happened pre or post mortem?
I would say postmortem.
Okay. All right. And my scientist gives me either what properties or how do I make use of this. I'm going to say what properties does this have, which will give me a +1 ongoing to any rolls against entities or objects of a similar type the next time I encounter it. So I guess that would be a +1 forward.
Okay. Like I said, you find scrapings of like reptile
Mm-hmm.
esque skin.
Cool, cool, cool.
And what was the other thing?
What properties does this have? And this basically is just what information would I need to know in order to get that +1 forward against anything of a similar type.
Gotcha. I would say you don't know what kind of reptile it is right now, but you can do research on it
Cool, cool.
later.
So do you tell us this as well?
I think I point out the reptile skin. Say there's some sort of animal skin. It looks reptilian to me, but I am not a zoologist.
It's like attached to them, or it's part of their skin.
No, like someone like when they were trying to whatever animal or whatever they were trying to fight off, it looks like they scratched
Right.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and some of that skin came off.
Before we conclude the scene, then, because I think we've gone through everything here, what organs have been removed, and were they removed surgically or just ripped out?
It seems ripped out, random.
Random organs have been removed.
Yes.
Eurydice turns to the medical examiner, looks very puzzled, and says, "Can you think of any sea snakes or some kind of aquatic reptile that could do this?
I'll be honest, I really can't be sure. I've never even seen anything like it.
Should we warn people that there may be some kind of predator around here? Other than the bush killing monsters.
Yeah, I think we should, to avoid any panic. We don't want any more outcry and rumors about burned baby bishop or anything like that going around. The people around here are a bit crazy, right? They're going to attribute it to some boogeyman or another. No, let's, Dr. Dalglish, let's just keep all the information you've given us under wraps. I'll make sure you're compensated.
Oh, alright.
So, I don't know, is that illegal? I guess it is illegal trying to
I mean,
tell the coroner not to talk about it, yeah.
This
But I think
is
it is a secret.
the 1930s. I think we're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying the court. I mean, I was gonna make you roll for, I probably would have made you roll if you hadn't have paid them off. So, probably a good idea on that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's seen, I guess. We are at some point. We will, of course, have to inform the family, but yeah, we'll deal with that in another scene.
All right, we are now moving on. Where does our next scene take place?
I'm guessing probably in the lab. I'm assuming that Dr. Spencer has a lab.
Absolutely. Definitely. Since this is the 1930s, it's probably like a cozy room off of her office. And it has a bunch of different samples of stones and crystals. It's that classic neat room where the professor sits down and chats with their student or whatever.
All right. Yeah. So, Paige, you walk in. I assume you're going over the coroner's report at this point.
Yeah, I think Eurydice is sitting at her desk. There's a large, like the size of two fists, split geode that she's using as a paperweight on her desk. She has a fountain pen in one hand and those little half moon glasses on her face as she reads over this report. Oh, Paige.
Paige is probably kind of scratching at their arm, and they come and sit down, and they're just kind of like, so this might be outside your field, but
Yeah? Are you all right, Paige?
have you ever seen? I mean, there's this like mark on my arm. I'm not entirely sure.
Mark? What does it look like?
They'll put their arm on your desk.
For everyone's benefit, it looks like what would happen if you were struck by lightning.
Paige, how did you get this?
I don't know. I woke up and my skin kind of flaked off, and then it was just there. I don't think it's like that skin disease or anything like that.
No, I've seen something like it before. I'm trying to remember. It was yes, it was a gentleman that I met who lived on the north side of the island near Sabine's Cauldron, who had been struck by lightning when he was a young man. When did this appear?
I woke up with it today. I think I would have remembered if I was struck by lightning.
Absolutely.
Sorry, like I said, I know this isn't your field, and I just didn't really know who else to ask.
Thank you for coming to me. I want to be the mentor to you that you should have had.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
When did this appear?
Like I said, this when I woke up this morning.
Well, then, perhaps we should take you over to the clinic. Do you feel all right?
I think so. It was a bit warm to the touch, but Actually, has that gone away, or is it still warm to the touch?
No, the pain and the warmth have gone away.
Okay. No, it doesn't hurt. It's just there, I guess.
Well, I suppose we could see if anything changes.
Yeah.
Eurydice, you notice that ever since Paige has been in the room, there is this faint smell of ozone.
Interesting. I think Eurydice looks at Paige, looks at the lightning scars, sort of sniffs, says, Does it smell like a storm to you?
I guess. I guess, kinda.
This is strange.
I mean, the island always kind of smells like that to me, but...
Paige, you have no idea what Eurydice is talking about.
Okay. I mean, does the weather say it was gonna storm, or...
No.
Yeah, they probably just look confused if they can't smell it.
I must be imagining it. Well, so, how are your studies going?
Okay. I was looking over some of the samples that we got. They seem normal, which, I mean, I guess was expected. They were taken from closer to the town. We still need to analyze some of the samples that came up further from this, like, closer to the spring, but
Certainly.
we haven't gotten to those ones yet.
Paige, I didn't want to say this, but I think you should hear it from me first. I was called into town this morning by Mayor Brightheart.
The Mayor Stella of Mars?
Yes. Someone found Eric's body.
Eric, you mean... But hasn't it been... That was a year ago, right?
Yes. I don't know. They found Eric and Jacques.
Oh, jeez.
I had to identify the bodies. And they certainly had been exposed to water, but not for a year. I don't know what has happened. I don't know if they were stuck in there and just didn't find their way out and only died recently, or I don't know what happened, but I wanted you to hear this.
Stop. Sorry. I just... Okay. I just don't want to think about...
I'm so sorry.
Thanks for telling me. Jeez.
We have to... The mayor wants to find out what happened.
Okay. I haven't really talked to the mayor much. I think my parents might have known him at one point, but does he seem like good people?
He does. He seems
like a swell guy.
all right. If I don't get to make sarcastic comments.
He seems very uncorrupt to me.
He seems steadfast, loyal. It seems like he's trying to do what's best for the town and best for the island.
Okay. I just want it to be in good hands, you know.
Me too.
Vivian, I think this might be a good time to bring
I was
Vivian
about to say,
in.
Yeah.
Just through the doors with guns.
Yeah, you hear like a knock at your office door, like outside of the lab.
Enter.
I think Paige kind of jumps like they weren't expecting anybody.
That you sort of like a bit of a stumbling and a very quiet fuck in the other room.
and you hear Eurydice calls out, language.
Yes.
Looks over at Paige and says, if you don't get control of the undergrads early, you're done.
I assure you I am not one of your undergraduates, Dr. Spencer.
Oh.
For sure, he broke something. Vivian definitely for sure broke something.
Yeah.
I was going to say Paige would be immediately concerned about the instrumentation.
Yeah, thud, tinkle.
Not the samples!
He does sort of look out the door and then back at Dr. Spencer. I may have broken one of your sample collecting devices.
What?
Oh, gods.
I'm sorry.
It's all
We
right.
need those. God, which
Come,
one? Which one?
take a seat.
The long. Oh, yes. It's right next to the doorway.
Jeez. Okay, I think Paige, you'll sit down. Paige is going to go out briefly to check on the precious instruments.
I'm not sure if you remember me, Dr. Spencer. It's been a year since we've last met, but I'm Vivian Otto.
Mr. Otto. It has been a while. It has been a very eventful day. Please, take a seat.
Of course.
You just hear from the other room like, oh, come on, not that one. And then Paige reappears at the doorway and is just like, that was the one that we were planning to take on the expedition.
You were planning on going on an expedition?
I wasn't supposed to say that, was I? Oh dear. Okay.
It's all right, Paige. I'm sure that Mr. Otto and everyone will be glad to know that if the university chooses to allow us to complete the work that was so tragically interrupted, that we will be well prepared for that eventual day.
Well, you will, of course, need a permit from the lighthouse service, so I would have been informed of it anyway.
Certainly.
Yes, I of course wouldn't want to visit you, especially so close to the anniversary, but I need to ask you something.
Before you say anything, Vivian, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at people, do you look them in the eye?
No, he does not.
I think for a second, when you're talking about paperwork, your eyes kind of shift to make eye contact. And you flash from last night about eyes that are brighter than bright.
I assume it's Dr. Spencer's eyes that I'm looking into.
You'd be correct.
All right.
And I am gonna need you to roll. Let's see if there's not like a... Let me look up this real quick. I should have looked this up before, but...
What you thinking?
Keep it together. That's what it is.
Keep together. Yes, that's...
To not freak out.
There's a reason I put a fair amount into that. Let me see here. Keep it together. Willpower. Okay, so that's 13 plus 2, 15.
You grit your teeth and stay the course. There's not even like a falter or a stutter in your voice when you return to like keeping your eyes away from her eyes. Her eyes, and just,
Have you recently found out anything about your expedition?
Eurydice slams her hand down on the desk sharply and says, "Why today? Why is all of this happening today?"
Ma'am, I swear I didn't. He sort of like shakily like stands up and starts to back away a little bit. I didn't. What?
Mr. Otto, I'm terribly sorry. Please.
I'm going to need you to roll, Dr. Spencer. I'm also going to need you to roll. Keep it together, please. I think that was an appropriate. And Paige, I'm assuming you're listening to all of this, unless say otherwise.
Yeah, I think the first mention of the expedition, like, they were probably trying to clean stuff up in the other room, but when they heard the word expedition, they probably stopped and are just kind of standing awkwardly, not quite in front of the door, but yeah, they're listening.
All right.
Oh, no, a 10.
I rolled a 10 total.
Okay.
So the effort to resist installs a condition which remains with you until you have had time to recuperate.
I'm going to say anger.
I was thinking
-1
I was
stability.
thinking guilt-ridden,
Guilt-ridden.
because we are talking about the 4 lives that Eurydice absolutely blames herself for losing because she was in charge.
Fair enough.
But I'm happy to go with angry if that's a direction
I'm
you're
just
more
thinking
interested
about
in.
like the emotion you displayed right
Yeah.
now in this moment.
Yep.
If you think it's a guilt-ridden anger, we could absolutely just do guilt-ridden. But I think it sounded more like you're just angry about.
I think it's anger, which then, through the magic of AFAB conditioning in the 1930s, shifts immediately into guilt for showing a negative emotion.
Not fair enough. So guilt-ridden.
I'm sorry. Mr. Otto, please. Please take a seat. That was unforgivably rude of me.
That's quite all right. I've had worse.
So, yes, this morning, apparently, the bodies of Dr. Eric Rostel and Jacques Dupont were found by someone, I don't know who. The mayor of Stella Maris brought me in to identify the bodies.
Oh, Dr. Spencer, I'm so sorry. If I had known, I wouldn't have come.
You had no way of knowing.
I suppose you're right.
Suffice it to say, yes. Yes, indeed. I have had the incident brought back to the top of mind.
I know this must be a very hard time for you. I'm sorry for adding more to the pile. Did Sonny ask you to do anything while you were there, out of curiosity?
We agreed to further speak about the possibility of putting this situation to rest in a way that is quiet, so that we don't bring even more negative publicity to the island.
He wants to cover it up, just as I suspected.
Mr. Otto, do you have some difficulty with Mr. Brightheart?
Just that he's a lying, cheating bastard who never got anything in his life that he earned, but other than that, no, he's a dear friend.
Mr. Otto, he is a dear friend of mine, and I think that he has nothing but the benefit of our community in mind. What has happened to bring you to my office?
Yes, of course. I didn't mean... He's a good man. Yes, he's a good man, Doctor.
Yes.
A personal grievance alone. We were close friends in childhood, but that's entirely a personal matter. Anyway, yes, I'm afraid I still haven't gotten to that, have I? Yes. Last night, You're a woman of science. I understand that you won't take what I have to say as anything even approaching something which ought to be taken seriously. But I still think it very important that I tell you nonetheless, since I do have your best interests at heart. I was at my light last night, and I saw people on the shore, 5 to be exact, and well, that would be trespassing on government property, of course, so I went down to attempt to scare them off. But when I went down, I saw that they were not leaving any footprints. They went into the cove where your expedition went missing last year, and I noticed that one of them lingered for a while at the entrance before going in. I don't wish you to take it at all seriously, but the timing, and I have had these sorts of events happen before around other strange events like this. So oh God, why did I come? Oh, you're not going to take this seriously. Why did I even bother?
Eurydice is indeed giving him the neutral, polite, I'm not sure what we're talking about here, but I'm going to humor this madman expression, which is, it's a lot, but I think most of us know it.
Yes, yeah, no,
It's the polite smile and nod.
he looked up at you and
Mm-hmm.
oh God. Look, just
Do you think people went into those sea caves last night? That's hideously dangerous.
yes, all right. Yeah, let's go with that. I probably just the footprints were probably just getting washed away by the waves. So yes, I saw something go into those caves last night.
Have you informed the sheriff?
No, not yet.
I think that should be the first stop if I or any of my students or staff are needed in order to help rescue people who have gone into those caves. I will, of course, be at the disposal of the sheriff and the mayor.
I don't think it's... Look.
Paige.
So they're going to try to pretend that they weren't listening, probably very badly. Yeah.
Could you please ring the sheriff? Let him know that Mr. Otto saw people going into the sea caves last night. We need to find them, or at least make sure that no one's missing. For God's sake, they could be children.
Yeah.
Think of the children.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. So, where would there be a phone? Because it's like the 30s. There might not.
I imagine probably in the hallway.
It is a professor's office, so there is a chance that you have a phone.
She probably has a handset. I mean, there is certainly a university switchboard operator. Mm-hmm. So you'll, hey, could you put me through to the sheriff? You're not having to worry about phone numbers.
Okay. Yeah, because the next thing would have been like, I don't know if Paige would know the they might know the Stella Maris sheriff's number by heart, but maybe not the one for Swale Springs.
Well, the caves are closer to Stella Maris, so...
Yeah, true. Yeah, so they're going to go find a phone, and yeah.
I will say it is the start of school, so there are people passing by in the hallway. So, Paige, if you're just saying it out loud, the rumors will quickly spread.
Okay, so I think that Paige is going to try to, be subtle about it, talk really quietly, and whether or not the person on the other end can actually understand what they're saying is entirely up to you. Also trying to, more talk in code, I guess. Not very well. I don't think they're very good at that sort of thing.
I don't know. This sounds like an act under pressure role to me.
Yeah.
That does sound like an act under pressure role.
All right. Let's see. Oh, 18.
Check you out.
Okay.
Wow.
Look at you.
Yeah, I am a smooth talker.
You're just basically just able to you cover your mouth over the phone. You're like, okay, so
there may have been a sighting of a person, down
or persons down at I'm trying to think of bad euphemisms for everything. But yeah, anyway, that is essentially the gist of how the call is probably going. Patrick, or Vivian, how's your character feeling in this moment?
You see Vivian, he has these big gloves on, and he's just sort of biting down on them nervously.
Your intentions have been misconstrued. Go figure.
Yeah, he sort of takes his hand out of his mouth oh, that's not what you do in social situations. Doctor, I really must insist you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. These weren't people. They were phantoms. Oh, God, what am I? They were phantoms. They didn't look like people. They had long shadows and bright eyes, brighter than you could even imagine. He, puts his hands down on the desk. I am not asking for a search and rescue party. I am asking for you to be aware that you are being haunted.
As you say that, we'll go over to Sunny. Yeah, we go to Sunny.
So do you want to frame the scene or shall I?
No, go. If you have an idea for a scene, go ahead. But
Okay, I do. And I think this is a scene with, at the moment, just Sonny and maybe one of his trusted associates.
Ollie,
Yeah. No, let's say it's Vincent. I've
Vincent.
got a whole crew. I've got a whole crew. So Vince is with me. He's a bit more talkative. Yeah.
We have Ollie, Vinny. We definitely need a Joey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Rocco,
Big Tony.
Little Tony.
And of course,
Rocco's Modern Life. Yeah.
Tiny Tony.
I'm going to try and avoid two because it's not really Italian. But yeah. I'll come up with some other names at some point.
Big,
but yes.
Big Tony, Little Tony. Not as big as Big Tony, but bigger than Little Tony.
Average size Tony.
Yeah.
Stunted at birth, Tony.
Weird Dick Tony.
Come on.
Eye patch wearing Tony.
I'm going to say that or if you're okay with this, it's Vincent Bishop.
Oh.
Ooh.
So one of the Bishop family, who's one of my associates here on
Corrupting
the
the
island.
bishops. I'm here for it.
They've always been corrupt. Ever since, what was it? Burned baby Billy Bishop.
Listen. Come on, Sonny. I tell you, stop bringing that up. It's brought shame to our family for generations.
Hey fella, I'm just trying to help you out here because if news of these bodies and what's going on comes out again, they're going to be blaming him again. You know? All right. So we're just saying,
all right.
keep this under your hat. But look, I've been looking through some of the books that that Pop had back at the house. Some of these, something to help me with my little problem, if you see what I mean. And I don't know. I think it's got something to do with them caves. There's something in there. They seem to, they talk about the water and how it's all messed up. I mean, it's that spiritual mumbo jumbo stuff about it's cursed.
He crosses himself and, so you gotta stop talking about that. It's that's demonic shit.
What it is backwater superstition. I mean,
we're literally in the middle of the ocean. We're as backwater as it gets.
Well, look, I was educated in New York City, so I know about these kind of things. And
big time new whatever. Anyways,
well, look, these books, they talk about something down there, some kind of stone that's associated with the water, and somewhere deep in the caves. I reckon if I get some of that can help me with that weapon I'm trying to make. Whatever it is out there, I don't know. I don't think normal bullets are going to affect it. But if we can get something from there... Did I hear they're doing an expedition? Another one? Actually, would my character know that? I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No.
So, hopping above the table for a second,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this new expedition could just be the rescue party, the search and rescue thing, getting completely out of hand.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Boy cries wolf. Everyone gets their guns ready.
Boy correctly cries ghosts, and everyone hears wolf.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the boy who cried wolf if there actually was a wolf. It just happened to be a ghost.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think so. Just go back to what Sue was saying. We need to talk to that Dr. Spencer. I think she's sweet on me. So maybe we can make something happen there. I mean, we need to get down there again. And I reckon my old friend Vivian, the Otto kid, the loner on the lighthouse. Yeah, we used to be real close.
The whole family's weird.
You tell me. I should get that guy a girlfriend. Or, because he just seems lonely these days. I mean, he used to be a bit more open. I don't know what the hell happened to him. But anyway, listen, he's got a real good library there, better than my pa's, from what they say. So maybe we need to talk to him too. Get people together. I tell you what, let's have a wake down at the Blind Barracuda. Okay, we invite all those guys. We invite the family of the unfortunate victims. We lay on a spread, and I can have a chat with everyone. Sounds like a good idea. And plus, I get some publicity out of it. So, yeah.
I wish I could make a role for NPCs, but they're just Vincent's just. You can tell Vincent's like. There's this look of like, there's no way that this will work, but you're the boss. That, you know what I mean? Like, he's incredulous. I'm not saying, now me as a GM, I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I'm just saying, Vinny, your friend Vinny, your buddy Vinny is like, this is gonna end terribly. I mean, boss, if you're sure this, I don't know, boss. This seems all kind of crazy.
Oh, why is that? I mean, we need to put this incident to bed without any bad publicity coming out of it. And I need to schmooze with some of their new university types. Try and get them interested in going down in caves again.
All right. I guess we'll see what we can do. I feel like there's got to be a role for this.
I'm not really trying to convince him, but
No, not your friend, but it is like to get people. I guess you don't have to. Really
I have to convince the other family members of the two victims, not just. Yeah, it's got to be the family of the victims that I've got to convince, I guess. So
Yeah.
I am going to write a very nice letter to them and have it hand delivered by one of my boys, inviting them that after this terrible event, we want to put it behind us, but we're going to hold it in the premier destination, the Mar-a-Lago of the island, the Blind Barracuda, and basically, see them off in style. Now, this is finally at an end, this terrible tragedy.
I think, okay, yeah, sure. You know what?
Sure thing, boss.
This. I'm going to say this is going to be influence other.
Okay. Do I get to use my special move?
Forked tongue.
Or is it just influence other? Yeah.
Well, you're writing a letter. You're not. Does it state that your ability?
You're right. I don't know if it does.
So diegetically, what is Sunny doing with the forked tongue? Is it like a deliberate spell, like a cantrip that he's casting? Is he does he even know he's doing it? Like,
I think maybe it's something that he's been imbued with by making a pact or something like that, or something that he's taught himself, because he can do rituals, basically. So he's done a ritual that causes him to be able to do this.
Whenever you manipulate someone, roll plus charisma. Okay, yeah, roll. Yeah, I'll say you can use your forked tongue ability for this.
I'll roll it as influence other, though.
Huh?
So, a 10 success. So it's a partial success. What is a partial?
I know exactly. Oh gosh.
So the option is that they're. I guess that they trust me again. Yeah, +1 relation with me, because I'm not doing it just for a scene. But yes, or we could use the standard. It's up to you. I'm happy to use the standard move as well.
Well, you've already rolled your roll.
Mm-hmm. But I'd say.
Did you? Oh, I thought you used forked tongue. I think I got a 10 on a forked. Oh.
So in that case, I get what I want. But I'm happy for you to use the move instead, if it makes more sense in the fiction.
No. If you want to use your move, if you want to use your ability, that's fine. I just know what option I'm going to pick, and it's gonna be funny.
Which option is it?
Well, we'll just have to see now, will we?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So let's give these people some names.
Oh yes.
So, okay,
please.
one of them is one of the bishops. does anyone want to say? So the closest relative I'm going to say is yeah. I don't want to use Billy. Well, he's not around anymore, but
Let's use Tad. Tad Bishop.
Tad Bishop is the, what are they? They're the brother. I'm going to say they're the brother of Orpheus. Okay.
Orpheus was a girl, right? Just to be clear.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's normally a masculine name. That's why I was asking.
Yep.
Oh no, wait, because it's not the bishops, isn't it? Because we haven't found the body of the grad students.
Nope.
No.
It would
So,
be
no.
Eric Rostel, who was a professor here at the university, and Jacques Dupont, who is a, let's say, French Canadian, because I'm feeling saucy, a French Canadian diver.
Okay, I'm going to say that Jacques Dupont doesn't have an on-island relative.
I would agree
So
with that.
it's mainly going to be Emmeline Rostel, the spouse of Eric.
Oh, that's sickening. Emmeline and Eric Roster, they have identical initials. It's so cute, I might puke.
But it'll be a wake for Jacques as well, and for all the friends of him on island as well. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. You could ask his family to come over as well.
I don't think Sonny cares. As long as he gets to do his thing.
Okay.
I want to pay for a boat from the mainland. I mean, my generosity goes so far. Oh, make sure we use the watered down whiskey as well.
Sure.
My God. Oh wow.
So who is coming to this wake? The people who are the people coming to this wake?
So, I mean, obviously, anyone from the university or friends from the town. In addition, I'll explicitly, of course, invite the other player characters. I think Oscar, because I just want to, because I want to get good with him again. I think, and just Paige, just because you work with Dr. Spencer, so I kind of associate you maybe. And yeah, Dr. Spencer, absolutely.
Dr. Spencer. Yes.
Specifically, who are the two families who are coming?
Well, it would be the DuPonts, but I guess the DuPonts have no local relatives, so I'll send an invite, but I'm not going to. They'd have to pay to come over, and I assume they may well do that. But yeah, so whoever you want. So we'll say. I'm just going to say Marcel.
Marcel. I'll say they both come over. Marcel and who was the?
Well,
Emmeline.
Emmeline is the wife of the hydrologist Eric.
Eline. Okay. Yeah. Then they both. Yeah. Eline as well. Yeah. So you have this wake going. Is it like blue jazz playing? Just a lot of alcohol going around.
Yeah, I think it's pretty understated. It's not going to be the usual gig at the Blind Barracuda, which is normally a lot of out of control jazz. This is much more refined than the normal thing. But yeah, it's in an upstairs room. I don't think it's in the main gambling hall or whatever there is. So
everyone's here. I mean, the nerds from the university. Vivian, you see Vivian walk in. You also see Ellis, the hydrologist's wife, and also Marcel DuPont.
and I think we've got some nice photographs of them up on the wall. We've got. I mean, it is a wake. It's going to take place. So I assume we're kind of pushing time on a bit. It's taking place after the funerals, if that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And yeah, does Vivian turn up?
Yes, he does. He's coming with his family, so that means only with his sister, Willow. No one else is with him. And this is like the one time per year that he doesn't wear his uniform everywhere he goes, so he's got like a very crisp black suit on. Crisp because he does not wear it very often.
I feel like Willow has a very different energy to Vivian.
I will say they're both very antisocial, but other than that, you can just figure out how she is based on how you'd like that.
I would say Willow's the less confrontational of the two.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, you two walk in. Does Dr. Spencer come in with Paige?
I see no reason why she wouldn't. Unless Paige is trying to dodge her.
No, I don't think so. I do think Paige is specifically wearing something long sleeved.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really
Right.
want to invite any other questions. That's not the purpose of what they're doing there.
We hear some nice trumpet music going as people settle in, and everyone's drinking. They're having it's not a good time, but it's not a bad time either. Describe what the inside of the Blind Barracuda looks like for
Well,
us.
we're in one of the upstairs function rooms. It's like horribly ostentatious. Sort of, there are like carvings of cherubs. It's salmon pink, mainly most of the room, with these like various Grecian statues around it. Yeah, like a cheap guy's idea of like a fine looking establishment.
Are there pillars?
Yes, there are pillars. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm assuming they're Grecian.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you say it, right?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Grecian in nature,
Grecian. Yeah.
Grecian.
Grecian.
And it's very low key. Very. Why don't everyone act under pressure to see how drunk they get?
Okay. I'm not
Oh.
planning to get drunk.
Oh dear.
So I failed, but at the same time, I don't think that Paige drinks. So
Yeah.
however you want to interpret that is entirely up to you, but it probably does not involve alcohol.
Also, isn't the prohibition still going on? Although I guess that's Sunny's whole dig is having the...
And we had discussed that in a lot of colonial territories, prohibition was less of a law and more of a vague suggestion.
Yeah.
Guidelines, you see.
Yeah.
Okay, so I rolled a 9. I'm also going to say that Vivian does not drink. That time you see him drink in the intro is very much the exception. He's usually a complete teetotaler. But
I think
given his
you did roll.
tendencies...
You did. I respect the roll. If you did roll,
Well, I was going to
I
say
was
you could
bad.
change it to not be him being drunk, but rather this is a man who spends most of his life in a lighthouse with one other person. So
Yeah.
you can go
Perhaps
from
we
there.
are rolling for our social success.
Sure. All right.
All right.
Okay. Oh, another fail for me.
Nobody's handling themselves very well today.
No.
I am the champion.
I don't know. Still success with complications.
It says success. What does everyone else say? Huh?
Failure.
There we go.
Well, one man's failure, someone else's success. So yeah.
I'm gonna say, Zuki, the letters that you wrote really. Let me explain something to the audience, at least, about the forked tongue move. So Sunny rolled a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Choose one option from the list above, but there's also a complication. Chosen by the GM or the player. They see you as a friend they can turn to when in need. They will feel betrayed, spurned, or humiliated or manipulated when you abuse their trust in you. They fall in love with you. I think, Zuki, as the night goes on, you notice that what is the name of the...
Emily? Or Marcel?
Yes. Marcel. No. Marcel. You think you're not... I don't know how good at... You're pretty sure that Marcel is flirting with you.
Barely out of widow's weeds.
Oh no, he's
He's the
his
brother.
dad. Oh, brother. Yeah, I thought it was his dad, but yeah, brother is probably good. Okay,
Of Jacques.
Jacques. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure how Sonny's going to respond to this. It is an opportunity to. Is he rich? Because one of my other traits is that I am greedy. So if I can roll him for some money, then wow, I'm all about that. In fact, yeah, I might, because I'm a bit drunk as well. I probably will raise with him in private the idea that we should really find out what happened to them down those caves, and I'd like to fund or help fund an expedition down into the depths. I'm hoping to work with some people from the university, Marcel. You understand? Now, one of the problems is it's an expensive business, especially finding the right people after what happened to your son.
Absolutely. I could absolutely. I for sure can help with this. Roll. I would say this is going to be roll. This is going to be a roll influence, but you're gonna have a plus. I'm going to say a +2 to this roll.
Okay.
One, because he is in love with you, and two, because it's such a great character. You're
Wow.
playing into your character's strength.
Does
Oh
not
my
even
God.
need that +2. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I got a 20.
Oh my god. Look at that. Smoother than black ice on a January morning.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, so Marcel can obviously afford to fly here from Canada, so he's got money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's got a
okay.
lot
Well,
of
why
money.
don't I'm planning to have a bit of a sit down with some of the university folks that went down there the first time this very night. So, if you're interested, you could come in on the meeting because, Mrs. Dupont, I may look like a rich man from my surroundings, but funding an expedition like this needs some real books, especially after what happened last time. You and me should talk to Dr. Spencer about this.
Absolutely, yes. Your words have touched your the words in your letter have
But
touched
for
me.
now, I have to go and talk to an old friend.
Oh, okay.
Well,
And you walk away, and he's just like,
I tried my
he looks
best.
a little bummed, and he takes a drink.
Yeah.
But he will definitely help fund this expedition.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's what they say. So I'm going to go up to Vivian because we haven't talked yet.
Yes. Hello, Sonny.
Viv, it's been too long.
It's been a week, Sonny.
Well, that's still too long.
Mm.
Look, I've been very busy. I was hoping to come back and follow up on our little conversation. I mean, I still would dearly want your help with your family's library. There's something else come up.
I did think over your request for access to my library. You can have it, Sonny. Absolutely.
You understand, right? You understand there's something bad going on this island.
More than you know, yes.
I mean, I might tell all the people I don't believe in this superstitious nonsense, but there's something dark out there, and it's got its eyes on me.
Remind me again how you can tell.
I've seen it. I saw it the other night when we picked up those bodies.
Jesus.
I can feel it. I can hear it in my dreams. No.
And it tells you it's coming after you.
Cherry's gone missing. I don't know what happened to her. I think she left the island, but
She didn't leave you a note?
nothing. She disappeared the same night as those goddamn bodies appeared, right? She was gone.
Something happened that night. You don't need me to tell you that, but I saw something too that night.
What was it?
Phantoms, Sonny, you know, the type I've told you I can see.
You've told me about that. Yeah, the creepy things you see in the night out on the beach. What were they doing?
Well, this was the first time I'd ever seen these exact ones. There were 5 of them. They entered the caves, and one of them stared at me with these huge glowing eyes.
The same night as we found the bodies.
same exact night from the
God
way.
damn. Okay, I think maybe they brought them out, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know what time this would have been. I think it was, if I may proffer a theory, as from my reading, I think it was a echo of sorts, a replay, almost like a phonograph or a physical version, anyway, of what happened when that expedition entered the caves. Because I went to visit Dr. Spencer the next day at the university, and when I looked into her eyes, Sonny, when I looked into her eyes,
What was it?
they were those same eyes, Sonny, the exact same.
You think she's cursed like me? God.
Let's just say I think there's a reason she's the only one who made it out alive.
Listen, Viv, me and you, we need to organise an expedition down there. We need to find answers.
As you say that, you hear murmuring from the crowd, and someone starts to yell. You hear glass shattering as you see Cherry for the first time in a while. I want to say it's been a couple, maybe a few days. She stares at you, Sonny,
Hey, baby, you're back. I'm going
and
to
she
rush up to her.
says, "In vino veritas." As she jumps off from the bar, the scene cuts out as we hear a snap. And that's where we'll end that scene. And the noctuary closes. I'm Dev, he, they, GM, host. You can find me on Twitter.
I'm Patrick, he, him. I am again playing Vivian Otto. You can find me nowhere. I don't have many social media accounts. But if you're on Discord, you can find me at Some Guy on the Net, especially if you're on the Good Friends of Jackson Elias Discord server, which I frequent. Thank you.
I'm Nicole, and I've been playing Dr. Eurydice Spencer. You can find me on the internet on Instagram at Five Goblins Pottery.
I'm Alex. I've been playing Paige Carrick. You can find me on this general plane of existence. I do not have social media.
I'm Zuki, he, him. I've been playing the wonderful Sunny Brightheart, and you can find me on Blue Sky under Zukizilla.
We hope you will subscribe, comment, leave a like, do all that jazz. And we will see you next time when the noctuary reopens. All right.
Bye.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.